Hello, I'm Javier Rodriguez, winemaker and owner of Winery Rodriguez y Sanzo. I want to introduce my winery in Rioja. The brand is Lacrimus, and we are in the special area from Rioja. Previously, I want to introduce the different areas from Rioja and why are different and why they offer different features. Okay, you can see the map of Spain, and even you can imagine the France map. And we divide Spain in a line coming more or less from Burgundy to Lisbon. We can see the main areas in Spain. The continental part is in the middle, is the plateau. We have two plateaus in Spain. Of course, we are going to speak about the plateau where we are, is the Castilla y León Plateau and Rioja. Is the highest plateau for vineyards in Europe. And divided in Atlantic influence, continental and Mediterranean. You can see Rioja is crossed by one river, the Ebro River. This river is the only river starting in the Atlantic area but finishing in the Mediterranean Sea. This is very important, and is the reason Rioja is totally different than other areas in Spain, because the rest of the areas are or Atlantic or continental or Mediterranean. In Rioja we have the three atmospheres or influences. When the wind is coming from the sea, from the east, from Mediterranean influence, we get Mediterranean areas. This is the reason the Rioja is divided in three main areas: Rioja Alta, Rioja Alabesa, and Rioja Oriental. Rioja Oriental is more Mediterranean. Rioja Alta is Atlantic continental, and Rioja Alabesa is pure Atlantic. Then our area, Rioja Oriental, is divided in sub-areas, depending of the orientation of the slopes of the mountains in one or another influence. When the face of the mountain is to the Atlantic influence, we have Atlantic forest, Atlantic soils, Atlantic wind, Atlantic weather. When it's in the Mediterranean influence, it's totally different, it's more Mediterranean. But even Rioja, the main river Ebro, is crossed by 5 different rivers. One of them is coming from the continental influence. Then in Rioja Oriental we have the continental influence, Atlantic and Mediterranean. Then we can work with the different grapes, Tempranillo and Graciano, in this case for Lacrimus Crianza, using this different influence from the weather. The Rioja Oriental is the oldest part in Rioja, and is where we have the main vineyards for our wine Lacrimus. Rioja Oriental is divided in two main areas, to the mountains and to the river. We have the vineyards in the mountain. This area, the main mountain is Monte Yerga, is famous because it's the soils from the Cretaceous age. It means 100 million of years. It means this area was under the water, it was the bottom of the lake, and now, after merging in the Quaternary season, Quaternary age, offer this part of rocks, stones and chalky soil, very important for our wine. Besides, we work with two main grapes. Tempranillo is the more famous grape in Spain and of course in Rioja, and the second one is Graciano. Graciano is very limited production in Rioja. It's just 3% of all Rioja. But we produce probably the 12–15% all Rioja. And in our blend, we use exactly the same proportion, around 15–20% of the total blend. This variety, the Graciano, offer an special conditions to get a Tempranillo with more complexity and modernity. The Tempranillo with Graciano is modern its intensity is more fruity. You can find the characteristic of the Tempranillo, but with the influence from the mountain, because the Graciano. The Graciano is very limited because you need a special area, and this special area is Montellerga, is where we have our main vineyards. Lacrimose means tears, because we decided to use the name because in Spain, when the wine is finished after the fermentation, the best part of the wine, we say is the tears of the wine. Then we use this name for the brand. You can see it's a wine with more color, it's deeper color than usual Rioja, because we are looking for a modern concept and a new exclusivity style for our Lacrimose crianza. This area is in the border of Rioja, it's part of the vineyard, are the limit vineyards for altitude in Rioja. In another part of our mountains, you can find the beginning of Ribera del Duero. Then we are hiding between Rioja and Ribera del Duero concerning the style in color and intensity. We are working with the vineyards of the mountain. It means this influence you can see in the color and in the intensity of the hints when I move the glass. In aromas, we are going to find the main grapes including in the blend, the Tempranillo, because it's, the main part is around 80%, 85%, depends on the year. But the Graciano is complementing these aromas with the spicy, with the flowers, and with these aromas of winter. You can smell like flowers from the mountains. In the palate is really fantastic to understand first the area and the grapes, to understand the wine, because it's a wine with more body, more intensity. You can feel the tannins, but final sweet tannins. It's a wine is moving to all directions in the palate, and finally is getting in aromas the grapes in one or another moment. It's a very nice wine to match with food like barbecue, like a stew, like a meat. But even it's a nice wine to enjoy for wine lovers to understand the different part of Rioja. In this area, you are going to find these old soils where the dinosaurs of the Cretaceous were walking on the soils we are planting vineyards in our age. Enjoy!